Hi everyone, welcome back to Spratt STEM Academy. Today we're going to talk about metric conversions, which are really important, especially when you start getting to upper level STEM courses such as chemistry and biology. Remember that in science, we primarily deal with units that are in the metric system. So these are going to be grams, liters, meters, millimeters, centimeters, milligrams, all of that good stuff. But it's really important to know how to convert from different units. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to show you my little trick that I used when I was first learning about converting units. So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen and write down this little chart. Well, it's not really a chart, but it's more of a mnemonic. But this will make sense. I'm going to write it down and then I'm going to explain what it means because to you, it's just going to look like a bunch of letters that make no sense. Okay, so as you can see, I have KHDBDCM, and you can use whatever mnemonic you want to memorize the order of these letters. I used the mnemonic King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. I've been saying that since I was in the 6th grade, but feel free to use whatever you would like. Now, the reason I wrote this in a specific order is because these are all units that make up the metric system, and all of them have specific beginnings. So, for example, the K stands for kilo, the H stands for hecta, the D stands for deca, and so on. But I'm going to write the rest of them. And if you aren't familiar with these, now would be the time to kind of get a grasp on what they do, at least. I'm going to leave this B blank for right now. So as you can see, these are all prefixes of units that we deal with in the metric system. So for example, here we have kilo. If we have kilograms, that is that unit. So that's just kind of what all of these words mean. Now this B right here, this is what we like to call the base unit, which is just going to be grams, liters, and meters. So if you're dealing with something that is base, that means that you just have grams of something or liters of something or meters of something. If you had like centimeters of something, you would be talking about this area, the C. Okay? I hope that makes sense, but this key is going to be very, very, very important when you're converting, and it's really important to know the order of it as well. So do what you need to do to memorize the order and know what it means. So let's just do an example now of a conversion using this table. So here I've written an example problem, and I'm going to bring it up higher so that you can see. But it's asking us to convert 25 kilograms into milligrams. So you could do the math for this, or you can use my super easy trick, which we're going to talk about now. The first thing you want to do before anything, read your problem and write down the value that you know that they've given to you. They're asking us to convert 25 kilograms into milligrams. So our known value is 25 kilograms. And we want to get this to milligrams, okay? So we know we're starting with kilograms and ending with milligrams. So keep that in mind. Look at your chart. You remember we're starting with kilograms. So this is kind of our starting point. And I'm just going to write start. And our end point that we want is to get to milligrams. So that's going to be here at the M. This is the end point. Now, how do we get from this point to this point? We can't just simply go straight across and think that we can convert straight from kilo to milligrams. We actually have to do steps. Literally, we are going to just start at kilo and jump to each unit until we get to the prefix milli, to milligrams. Now, if you look at my little jumps, notice how many times I had to jump to a different unit. I'm going to go over it in another color so that you can see this more clearly. We started at kilo and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So notice we moved to the right 6 places. Now I want you to remember that. So now, if you look at your value, 25 kilograms, this is all just decimal place movement. So we're going to write 25.0. That's the same thing as saying 25. I'm going to add a couple of extra zeros because I know that I'm going to have to move this decimal to the right 6 places. So this just makes it more clear. Now let's actually move our decimal place 6 places to the right, just like we did on our chart. We're going to start with our decimal and move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now our decimal place is going to be on the right side, further down 6 places. So rather than 25 kilograms, we've converted this to be, well, how many zeros? There's 6 zeros. So we've actually converted this to be 25 million milligrams. And that is how we would convert 25 kilograms to milligrams. So our final value is 25 million milligrams. And notice how we did this without having to do any mundane calculations or dividing a whole bunch of zeros. We simply just looked at our chart, figured out where we had to start, figured out where we had to end, and count places that we had to move our decimal. And you can do this for any unit as long as you make sure that you're moving the decimal place in the right direction. So this is my metric unit conversions trick. I hope it helped and I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more.